Round 15 action in the VFL came to us from Eureka Stadium in Ballarat. North Ballarat Roosters entered the game as pretty heavy favourites, Pete Marcato, to defeat Bendigo, who've been winless in the year and a half since they'd returned to the VFL as a standalone side. But they've been in pretty good form, the Gold, hadn't they? And they really took it up to the Roosters early.
Yeah, they went down by just 2 points to Casey last week, and it was a really spirited performance. I think what we were expecting for the Gold, we weren't going to see too much fluency, but against this North Ballarat side, they were always going to be up against it. But as you say, they were competitive at least for a good half of football, and they would have felt going in at half-time that they had a chance to roll over the top, but it just wasn't to be.
Well, it wasn't, and we just saw a golden opportunity that they missed. They missed a couple of really gettable shots in the opening quarter and until they actually scored their first goal. When they were missing those shots, though, North Ballarat masked on the other end, slammed on 4 goals. When Big Joe Redfern kicked this goal, and then he had another opportunity late in the quarter, they could have been a lot closer than they were. They went into the quarter-time break trailing by 27 points. But it could have been just a handful, really, with the way the game was going.
Well, North Ballarat today seemed to play in bursts, and there were about 5 or 6 minutes in that first half, 5 or 6 minutes at a time, where the game would click, where they'd be able to get the ball moving very well inside their 50. It was clean, they were hitting the targets, and a guy like Bryce Curnow, who kicks 3 first-quarter goals, is always going to be damaging. But there was a lot of that first half where the Gold actually were leading the game and they had the momentum. Here's Steve Strubens, their skipper, putting through a really nice goal, and they trying to build that momentum going into half-time, and there were some very positive signs, even if it wasn't the cleanest football.
Yeah, absolutely. Jake Art slotted this one, and when he did, they'd kick 4 in a row down to this Midland Highway end. They'd managed to claw the margin back to a respectable deficit, and then when Walls kicked this goal at the 5-minute mark of the third quarter, they were back to within 15 points, and North Ballarat were struggling. But it turned so quickly.
It certainly did, as we see Nick Rippon, one of the best players on the ground. He is a star, put through a goal, and from about the 5-minute mark of that third quarter, they put the foot down, they banged on a couple of goals in a row, and they were able to seize that momentum back. And really, throughout the game, they were able to seize on the mistakes that the Bendigo Gold players made. There's a little bit of inexperience there, the pressure that was being applied, the backs were under pressure throughout the match, and really it started to show in that second half. And really, we've got a good glimpse of what North Ballarat can do and why they're really knocking on the door of the finals.
Yeah, well, they kicked 8 goals in a row in that burst in the third quarter, and then so that meant that they led by 67 points at three-quarter time. The game was effectively over. They were more or less playing out time in the final period, and ultimately it was a 79-point victory to the Roosters, and it was a good percentage booster for them. It's exactly what they needed. They will remain in the top 6, in fact, as we end round 15, because their percentage lifted them above the Magpies. So they're right in there. There's still a lot of the season to go. They've got some tough games coming home. But today's victory, their second this year against the Bendigo Gold, helped them along the way. The final score, North Ballarat 21-16, 142 to Bendigo 99-63.